journey with farm to plate, officially when COVID hit is when we pivoted to build the product. But before that, probably since last 5 years, we've been developing solutions, implementing projects, especially in the blockchain space. So when COVID hit, that's when we realized how much of disruption, especially the food and beverage industry has taken in. And in fact, last couple of weeks back, we were getting ready. Our global launch is on February 28th. I was being so busy at home. My wife just asked me the question, whose idea was it? Because it's all what we talk about at home right now, especially with the launch coming in. And for a moment, I was like, oh, really? When did we start? Because it's been so long. I mean, obviously at that point, I took all the credit that I started it. But then again, I kind of felt that no, it was not one man's idea. It's kind of culminated into hundreds of people working on it, building the product. And more importantly, what we've done as part of our journey is that we also introduced something called Future Foodcast. So Future Foodcast is 100% powered by Farm to Plate. We interviewed about 130 C-suite executives in the FMCG industry to understand, where the industry is going, what are the challenges, how did COVID hit, what can be done. So all that, kind of also provided with the right set of things that, we could solve for the industry. So that's how it started. The journey of our Farm to Plate started, and we've been building the product for the last 2 years. The whole food supply chain, the question is why food supply chain? We already know, again, as I just mentioned, COVID kind of proved to us that, how the systems are broken. Okay, that's number one. And when we started building, we kind of looked at different aspects of it. One thing what we realized is that the whole, even though it's a fast moving industry and as such, but to our surprise, we found that it's very siloed in. And what it means that, the members of the ecosystem, be it the farmer, the manufacturer, the retailer, the consumer, they're all so siloed in, and with all the transparency which has been going on since 2006, but real progress has not been done. So we came up with a solution. Obviously, ours is a blockchain powered, which provides transparency, traceability, and the immutable nature coming from the blockchain. It provides the coordination for all these members in the ecosystem to talk to each other, because there's something called cooperation. We introduced a concept called cooperation. What it basically means is all these members, what I just talked about, they all have been operating with the mindset that, we compete with each other. They don't share the data. So keeping aside blockchain, keeping aside the technology, the mindset itself is very different. And that has kind of prompted them to be more siloed in. So we want to break those barriers, bring them from a competition mode to a cooperation. And what it basically means is that you, being part of the same ecosystem, can cooperate with each other, share data, and obviously our platform provides that. So this is one. And to the benefits what the product provides. So we divided a product into 5 T's, what we call them. Let's say, now you as a consumer, you kind of seen the whole transition, and then you like what you eat and you like what the farmer has done, and you want to tip the farmer. This platform will give you that opportunity to tip, no matter where you are. You could be a consumer sitting in US buying a product from Mexico, but you could go ahead and tip the farmer. And we make sure through our platform, we make sure that all that money is directly going to the farmer. And you might be asking the question, okay, how does it help? It does help in a very big way. The numbers speak volumes, and you'll be shocked to hear, how the numbers work. Let's say the same avocado, what I just mentioned, you bought it for say $1 in North America. Just take a guess how much of that $1 is getting paid to the farmer. It's literally in a developed nations. If the farmer is from developed nations, he would be getting about 10 cents, but in underdeveloped and third world countries, it's less than 5 cents. So which means less than 5% of that money is going to the farmer. So this way, you basically are providing a platform, not in a big way, but at least you're providing an equitable ecosystem wherein the farmer can also get benefited, especially by empowering the consumer.
So the product started when the COVID hit in, and at that point what the trend was, primarily each of the supply chain participants have their own systems, and there was a huge amount of cost that they used to incur to integrate in order to have the data exchange happen. So that's where we came up with this idea of having one platform where this particular platform would enable each of the supply chain participant and get them onto the digital journey. Now, when I say the digital journey, we are going up to the extreme upstream as well, where say the farmer or the fisherman, we are trying to get them into the digital inclusion of things, where we are also having a mobile app, an offline app, which helps them create their lots right at the place where they're procuring the particular fish or the pulses or the grains, and they can create their own lots. And that way, once that syncs in to the online application, once they come to a network. So it's a low network, no network app, and that where it benefits one. We are not just a regular track and trace solution. We are going beyond that. And when I say we are going beyond that, we are using QR code as a medium to sense the entire product's origin in terms of the journey, how, when, what happened to the raw materials, how they got transformed, how they went to the hands of the customer. So right from the processes and the transactions that are done at the supplier side, then at the manufacturer side, and then to the distributor, to the retailer, the entire journey gets encompassed, and just a QR code scan gives the entire detail. So the idea behind doing this is to graduate the end consumers, where as of date we just have a barcode and just the two dates, the manufacturing and expiry date. That's the only decision making data, and as we know, the data is the oil and which is greasing things across. We feel that the end consumer should know more because there has been a general trend where people are going towards more of organic foods and non-fertilizer based products. So that's where this kind of a journey of the product would certainly help. Now at this point, once the journey has been viewed through a public URL after scanning the QR code, that's where we have tried to join the end customer to the farmer. And that's where the tipping thing starts, wherein we want the end consumer to realize the kind of pain which the farmer goes through while procuring these products and harvesting them. So that's where they can go ahead and do a tip, which is like showing a gratitude to the hard work of the extreme upstream. So these were some of them. Now coming to the next part, we also are focusing on the recall side of it. So when a particular complaint comes at a retail store, the retailer can easily track back, or he can trace back through internal traceability the lot number of the manufacturer, and there can be a notification given to the manufacturer. So what happens next is the manufacturer can immediately withdraw all those related lots, and that way the further sale of those lots is prohibited, and we can get that to closure. The other piece is the immediate decommissioning of this, so that the other customers are not affected through this. The other aspects also we cover as part of the inventory side of it, where we are proposing small beacons inside the lots, so that the moment they enter the warehouse, they can be sensed and automated inventory can be pulled up. So that's on the inventory side. So these are certain areas or certain features which encompass not just from a track and trace perspective, but going beyond them. So that's the product features in a nutshell.
We are using Hyperledger Fabric-based blockchain solution to make sure that whoever gets access to the network are basically those who are authorized to. So it's a private and permissioned ledger, unlike any public networks where anybody can come across. The second layer of protection what we have is in the consensus mechanism to move basically on the execution of any transaction from a RAF to a BFT, so that even if any malicious actor gets access to the network, they will be halted and they can't just impact the network. Third layer of security which we have is on the application level. We are doing SAST, DAST and SCA, and we envision for an integrated and unified dashboard where different stakeholders are basically aggregated and they can see the shipment of goods once it changes hands or custody from one hand to the other throughout the value chain. And also we are keeping a track of the cold chain parameters, especially the environmental factors like humidity, temperature, pressure and other attributes that impact the food when it goes away throughout the supply chain. And on top of that, we do assess or the different factors, we actually are about to partner with a company who do the quality testing of the food when it comes to the carcinogenic parameters, chemicals, or any other kind of hazardous substances. So that way we are doing a two-layer verification, one on the digital layer, the other on the physical frontier.
My entrepreneurial journey started 25 years back when I landed in Atlanta as an immigrant, and since then we've been built the company. Farm to Plate is the parent company's Paramount Software Solutions, where we do end-to-end technology solutions. We build a great culture, and obviously the fact that we've been awarded best in business, best workplaces to work for innovators, best workplaces for women, goes to show the kind of culture that we built. So having said that, 100% of our revenues as of now for Paramount Software Solutions and also Farm to Plate is being generated from North America. I'm very happy to say, as I just mentioned, Tech for Good. In fact, we've been awarded, Paramount Software has been awarded Tech for Good. We are one of the finalists of the top companies from Technology Association of Georgia. And as I was just mentioning, our intent is not just to solve a business problem, but we want to take this and do a social good. I'll tell you what it means by that. Most of the small, medium businesses, just for example, take the whole supply chain ecosystem, what we just talked about. Believe it or not, they are kind of using technology from 60 years back. Even the Web 2 is kind of came in like 3 decades, 30 years back. We're already headed into Web 3. So they don't have the resources, they don't have access to the technology for them to get on, because they're more focused on, how do I solve my business problem? How do I sell my product? They're not in tune with, how a technology can solve the problem. So as I said, Tech for Good, we want to take this technology. We want, if you take these two members of the ecosystem, what I just talked about, we want to provide a voice, a platform for a farmer, to voice his products and use the technology. At the same time, a consumer, we want to give power back to the consumer in the Farm to Plate ecosystem, wherein they can, have the information, they can make the right decision and build the brand loyalty, because that's where we headed. So, the two end systems of the ecosystem, we want to power them. So these are just two examples of what we can do, in terms of, Tech for Good.
First activity we do is via microtipping the farmers or the grassroots level players for their good behavior or environmental friendly activities. After that, we are also tracking the footprints of carbon throughout the value chain, right from the source, manufacturing, distribution, warehouses, and eventually to the end retailers. And we want to offset that carbon via a carbon trading solution, which can be integrated with it. Apart from this, we are also focusing into activities like deforestation or overfishing, which may cause environmental impact, using geotagging solutions and taking mitigation approaches.
What I'm very impressed with the MENA markets, the GCC nations, is the growth factor. The movement, the involvement of the government into this whole sustainability, be it the DSS plans or growing food, becoming self-sustainable. So all that, the kind of progress that we are seeing in this market provides as a great platform for us. So being a US-based company, having to collaborate with the private office, the C group, will give us a great momentum. It catapults us into getting into these markets, because this is, which I feel in my opinion, is the untapped market. There's a huge potential for technology for a product like ours, especially the small, medium businesses. So our expectation is to empower the farmers, empower the members of the ecosystem, because I believe that technology needs to be used for good, because right now we are at this technological advancements where any business problem can be solved using technology. And being a tech company, it's our responsibility, it's our job to provide these kind of technologies to our clients, be it a farmer, be it a retailer, be it anyone from a Farm to Plate perspective. We give them the technology so that they could start to focus on their area of business. So this is how the partnership is going to work. and we're expecting to move in and have great strides in the MENA markets and also GCC nations.
Well, surely there are many reasons why we choose to handle our MENA operations from Dubai. Basically, starting with the location itself. So when we are discussing and we're talking about Dubai's unique location, it's basically acting as a bridge in between the Western and the Eastern community. So jumping into the other point, which is the diversity and the cosmopolitan population and society that we are living in here. Me, myself, as a resident in Dubai, I basically see a huge value when it comes to the diversity provided. We are catering a product that is not limited by boundaries, not limited by geographies. It can appeal to global people, global markets. So reaching it from this point is very beneficial in order to tap into everyone's necessity and need. One of the most important aspects is the embracement of technology and innovation. So teaming up from our side, from Far to Plate side with Seed Group, which is a respected company, will enable us not only to have the added value of the commercial business growth, rather we can be also tapping into the other aspects that are able to help us in satisfying and fulfilling our core values, which are knowledge-based and knowledge sharing, and enabling the contribution and building of a knowledge-based society through proper channeling. ESG, sustainability, food safety and security, innovation, those are all at the time being treated as, to a certain extent, as jargons, as buzzwords. This cannot continue. Our vision with Seed Group, our collaboration will be helping into changing the mentality from treating these points as an important aspect in everyday's life and neglecting the fact that they are only luxury.
As I just mentioned, my entrepreneurial journey started about 25 years back. So I've been doing it for the last 25 years. And having said that, it's not just for the entrepreneurs in the food and beverage industry, but this could go for any entrepreneur for that matter. And this is what I would say, tech for good. So we are at the intersection of technological advancements, which have not seen in the last 20 years, like be it blockchain, AI, ML, be it edge computing, quantum computing. We are at the intersection of such interesting technological advancements that we always take this, my advice to all the entrepreneurs is take the technology, solve a problem, not just for, making money out of it, but as I said, tech for good. So I don't think, there would be a better time than this for you. So let them help all these small, medium businesses to get onto the Web3.